Let's put some music there. Yo, 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 what's up, Banter fam? As you can see, we have a very nice little indicator going off at this point. You know, what are we talking about? You know, when are we finally going to get a nice little alt catch up? And what are the main little signals and hints that we need to always know to understand, you know, when these things can actually happen? See, this is a little bit off. There we go. And we have the dominance starting to break trend. We have the dominance now starting to show a little bit of weakness towards Bitcoin side. And we can see now this long trend that we started since we started getting the strong pullbacks in the market and all that. You know, we had the big dominance reversal. And now we know very much that when the market gets into a really tough situation, or, you know, the bears start to take a lot of control, you know, we're always going to have the dominance turn in Bitcoin's favor. This is the one that holds up all of the money for us. It brings in a lot of money into the market, and they're always going to protect that when the market's starting to show some sort of weakness. And what is always a nice indicator for us is to see when do we start moving momentum, and what can this actually mean for us? Because, you know, we're looking at this starting to break, and now we're getting Bitcoin getting to the 39K region, which is very much on our daily trend line, you know, the one that we've been wanting to break out of, to finally get the bulls now to say, okay, you know, well done, bears. You know, you managed to pull down the market 40-50%, right? Now, what are the bulls? When is their response going to come in? What is the indication to help us with that? And this is already one small little sign. So I'm going to be going through the dominance with you guys, going through where we're sitting at right now with Bitcoin. And I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have 6 alts that I'm going to be going through, shorter time frames as well as investment time frames as well. So I think these are going to be big runners that run off very quickly if we do get the strong trend break. And as I said, we are getting nice little hints. So let's get into it.
Click, click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click, click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click, click, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror, mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click, click. Enter the sniper. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, what's up? What's up to the community out there? And what's up to anyone that is new and brand new to this channel? First thing I need you to do, I need you to join the best community out there and to join the family. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're part of all the tools that we bring across at Crypto Banter here. Remember with this channel that we are here through thick and thin every single day. We have a very, very powerful community. We were here at the all-time highs. We were here after the big dumps in May. We were then through all the way back to 69K. And you know what, guys, one thing I've learned, you know, like I said, you know, a few weeks ago, I was there at the Miami conference meeting a lot of the fans, and the guys that stayed through the bear cycles have all made tons of money now. And it's just the simplicity of we're in a crypto market where there is a selective amount of coins, and only those who hold and actually keep their sections are those who actually strive. This market has always paid those who have been committed to the market and haven't been the quick ones that get shaken out. Remember, someone always has to win for someone to lose, or someone has to lose always for someone to win. You have to be forced out of selling your coins, panicking out. And that's why it's so important to be a part of this, because we're going to go through these emotion cycles together. We're going to understand that these are the times, you know, when this market has literally come down, you know, tons and tons and tons of percent over this time. And then it also has the difference of really rampaging at different times, and just understanding at the times that there's always going to be bull markets and there's always going to be bear cycles out there as well. And all that it is a way of taking profits, of shaking out the weak and re-entering the market. So join the family, guys. Make sure you're on all of our social medias. Let's get this off here. Make sure you're on our TikToks. Guys, we are doing a massive giveaway later on the week, and you need to be a part of the TikTok thing for that as well. So make sure you are part of that as well. Make sure you're part of our Instagrams. Make sure you're following us on Twitter as well. That's how we can communicate with you if anything big happens in the markets. And make sure you are part of this massive thing we have, which is the website. There's so much free information out there, so much articles, there's charts of the day, there's so many things that go through this, and this is all for free, guys. Look to sign up with your Twitter, and then really go through this stuff. And as fundamentalists and as investors on that, there's so much great information here for you, and you can see all the different aspects of what we have on a daily basis. So please make sure you're using all of our tools. That's the way that we can help control and help you guys with all of that. So I think let's get into it, guys. Let's see, where are we sitting right now? And you can see Bitcoin is sitting right on our long downtrend channel. We are sitting on resistance right now. This is giving us the indication that volatility is coming. We're either going to go test the lows again, and that was the very critical stage of, we're wanting Bitcoin to do some sort of reversal. We're getting to that stage now where we have two lines that are going to help us indicate, which target we're going to sort of go for first. And as you can see, we're at that point where, volatility is coming. And that's one thing we can see very much with these trend lines and these sort of flags that we make, is when we break one of these, is when we start, I got to shave. Guys, so I got a deal, like, until we've broken this trend and Bitcoin's, at least broken 46, and we've finally broken this sad trend that we've all stuck through for long, then I'll shave. Otherwise, until then, I am not shaving. If I look like Moses by the end of it, or I look like that's the part of the deal that I'm looking at. I'm here putting my beard on the line for the for the Bitcoin price. So yeah, if Bitcoin breaks and we've got a reversal, I will shave. Until then, the beard will stay. So what I'm looking at here, guys, is we are at the point now. Let's actually jump into lower time frames. Let's jump to the 8 hour here and let's have a look. So as you can see, we've had the strong pullbacks. We keep getting these strong little legs down. We haven't really reclaimed a higher high just yet, but we know that nothing goes in a straight line. And at some point, this long impulse wave to the downward side, we are going to have a correction to that. Obviously, when that correction comes, we got massive targets we need Bitcoin to get to make sure that we still have, the major highs broken through this year, and we still, let's say, have a really strong bull market for the remainder of this year. And we know the critical level of Bitcoin holding 30,000. That's the key level. We hold that. We can still, Captain Scruffy. Guys, I got to do it. Like, the market looks scruffy. I got to look scruffy. It's just how it works right now. But we know if we hold 30K, we can still be looking at a higher high this year. We can still be looking for breakout this year, which is fantastic. So if we don't hold those levels, we're still waiting for the correction, but it just means, Bitcoin gets to 50K. We need to seriously look at holding some sort of dollars and start prepping. Remember, we're in this for the longer run. You do make money, to make money at times, you're going to make money in a month, 2 months, cool, that's great. But you make tons of money over a year, 2 years, 3 years. You really make massive amounts of money because you keep learning, you keep adjusting to the way the market's moving. And you've learned the emotion in the market as well as your strengths and weaknesses as well. So what I'm looking at is I have two lines right now, right? I got the main trend line. That's coming from the top. Since we had the all-time high of 69K, we've then had 1, 2, 3 touches that we're running on this line right now. And this will be the key line that when we get a daily close outside of this trend will mean that we're going to start looking at having a correction from this wave to the upward side. Now, remember, just by running a fib from the top to the bottom, it's showing us right now if the low of 33K, if that was the low, we can be looking at a correction wave of this taking us back to the 50 to the 55,000 region, which is great, right? Does that mean that for the rest of the year we're strong? Not yet. We still have more levels to break, but that's still showing that, that's looking at a 30, 40, 50, 60% growth out of the whole market. And we're going to see, hundreds of billions coming back to the market when we finally get Bitcoin to those levels. Now, when that comes in, is very clear that when we start breaking out of this trend, because we can see that dominance has been breaking, which I'll get to shortly, but that dominance is ready to drop, and it's ready to drop hard. And when it drops hard is we know that the alts were the ones that were destroyed previously. And if we get Bitcoin breaking through the 40, 42K region, then we're having I will go through the RSI trend as well. Then we'll be having a massive catch up from the alts as well. So a lot of people looked at it as a bear cycle, anything like that. Like I saw this as the biggest opportunity cycle that I never thought the prices were going to get this low. Like people should be very lucky that the prices are at these low, because you still get the chance now to be getting into these protocols, as well as switching your portfolio to the ones you know now. You know that when gaming comes in, gets inflated, there's tons of projects out there, 90% of them don't survive. We're starting to learn these things, that the coins get so inflated over time, that there's really not much room, that you need to stick with the main coins, the ones that actually make a lot of sense. So with Bitcoin now, I'm looking at a breakout within the next 2 days. Now, we got this little trend that since we started this little push to the upward side, we haven't had any massive green candles yet, right? And that's just because we are at an indecision mode. And I'm sure fear and greed, everything's sitting at a very neutral point at this thing. But we start to look that either a break of any of these lines and a closing under them is going to give us the key indication. Now, if we close at any point under the support trend over here, it's indicating for us we can go and test the lows of 33, and we can even go lower to the sense of 30K. We know that now, right? That is what the indication is going to give us, is that trend line. We already know as well that a lot of damage has already been done. So any further, if there is any further little legs down, it's not going to shake me out now, because we've already been riding for this long point, like this really long downward cycle. It just means that the low was not in just yet. Until the bulls are at that point where we really start to get these strong reactions, as we did in this zone over here when we came off the previous May dump, then we know the lows are in play. When we really get that $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 candle to the upward side, that is when we know, okay, well, now we finally got that. And right now, slow growth, slow growth, slow growth. So if we break the support trend to the bottom here, we can be seeing a 30. We can be seeing that now. 30, anywhere 30 to the 29K lows that we had previously, right? Now, what does that mean dominance-wise? I can already see that dominance is starting to reverse. Okay, this has been an upwards trend since we started the biggest dumps in the markets, which means that either way that we are looking, if Bitcoin breaks to the upward side, dominance is still looking in favor of alts right now. It may go a little bit sideways, but it looks like we're going to have a whole market push up to the upward side. Now, if the Bitcoin drops, let's go back here. If Bitcoin drops this lower trend, we're also going to have dominance going down, meaning that the alts took the bigger hit the first time, very similar to the May drop. And then what it means is, Bitcoin is going to be the one that takes the bigger hit if we do have this next sort of drop, because the alts took such a smack. So this is already a good indication for us that the dominance is in alts' favor at this point, which is good. It's giving us indication that we're getting near that phase now where there's not too much focus right now. People are still continuing to be getting into alts at this point. And, they got smacked and they got hit hard. But right now, I kind of feel the fear is more with Bitcoin right now than with the alts. And that's a very key indication within the dominance as well. So that's a really good sign, guys. It's a really good sign that we're getting to this phase right now. And at least we have a very clear indication. We have two lines here of where we're looking at. So bottom line, 30K, we can go to regions. Why? Because there's no higher high just yet. We can get a lower low to that point. And where is the really next strong support was these key levels at these zones over here. And we know there's tons of buying orders that are sitting in this region over here. So do we get there, or was this 33K the low? Now, if we break through the top trend line, I want to see a daily close. I want to see a daily closing candle above 40K. That will be a good indication for us, because if we can close over 40K, it means now we're going to be chasing the first proper higher high since we started this downwards trend. And that means we want to look at Bitcoin making the region between 45 to 48K in that zone. And that will come through a closing candle of the top of this trend. We've seen it many times that right now we are trailing up, but we're trailing up with no volume in the market. So when we finally get a decision made between the two, you'll see how volume will start to come up. And then we'll start getting a bit more confidence back in the flow. And that will be a key indication. We want to see Bitcoin make its way to 45, 48. It may be the next 2 months of slow growth in the markets if we finally start this little upwards trend. But what I would like to see is a nice little rally from Bitcoin, get it to that 40, 45, 48 zone, then a small little pullback in the thing, and then start the slow road to recovery back in that sense. What's going to happen then is we're going to have the dominance going up, going down. So at times we're going to have Bitcoin going solo for a day or two. Then we're going to have a pullback. Then we're going to have the alts going for a few days of that, and it's just going to be a slow growth and still until we start getting to really key stages in the market, and then we can start seeing some real strong volume. But all that I know is when we finally start breaking these trends, just for a normal correction, it's showing Bitcoin at 55K. Now, this is a good sign because it's showing that the whole market is waiting in indecision right now, but it's at that point where if you look at the total, do you see what the total is showing us as well? It's showing us that the trend line is in that zone. If I match that to the Bitcoin chart, that's showing 42. Now, we break through that, where's the next trend? It's showing the next trend is sitting at about, $2 to $2.2 trillion. So if we break through Bitcoin breaking through, a 42 zone and we start making our way to the 46 zone, that's a 10, 15, 20% growth in Bitcoin. Where's the rest of the money going to be going? And that's clearly from that dominance coming down. And that's showing that if we get a break of this trend, we can be looking at a 12 to a 40% growth in the total, which means, let's just have a look there again, even from where we are now, you're looking at $250 to $300 billion entering the market. And then we add another critical stage again. That if we break that one, it means we're finally reversing the whole trend. And it means we can start working on a correction that can take us all the way back to $2.5 trillion. So you can be looking at, $900 billion entering the market on the recovery. Is the low in? We're not sure yet, but we're waiting for the trend. Exactly, where's the retail at? The retail only come here. That's when the retail is coming back. They're not coming back now. They're not interested right now. That's why I applaud you guys for being here and being through these times. They're not coming anytime soon. The big guys are fishing now. The larger guys are buying now. The sad thing is, and this is the normal reality of it, is this is when retail comes back into the markets. And shame, they're the fish that always has to be eaten from the sharks. They're the ones that get flushed out again. And it's the normal motion cycle. It's only a select amount of coins there, guys. Someone has to lose for someone to win. So make sure you're on the right team. So that's a good sign. Now, one thing that's great as well is the real growth, as I was saying now with the dominance, is coming from the total two. Total two, excluding Bitcoin. This is Ethereum. I'll go into Ethereum now because Ethereum is showing quite a bit of good strength right now, but it's showing the same thing here. We get a total two breakout at this zone. We can be looking at 22 to 25% growth in the total two. So it's just showing again, altcoins are starting to show some really good strength in the market. I just want to see if there's anything else I wanted to go through here. Okay, cool. Now let's jump into some of the coins quickly and let's see. So we got that now shaped up on Bitcoin. Okay, we know that now. We break the bottom. Dominance is in favor of alts. Alts will get hurt to that point, but it's showing that the damage was done on the alts already. And if we do have a little leg down, Bitcoin will be the one that gets hit a little bit harder. But if we also have the break up to the upward side, we're going to have a massive catch up from the alts. So now we're going to start preparing. We're going to start seeing, what alts do we want to be in, what's looking great. One that's also right on the trend right now is Ethereum. Now, Ethereum has, two really important zones that we want to be breaking through. We have the resistance where we're sitting at right now, which is about 2,800. And then we have a very key one that's sitting in the region of 3,000, 3,100. This is the downward trend since we've started down on Ethereum. And you can see we're at that level now where Ethereum's starting to show a little bit of strong legs now. No true volume just yet. And that will come if Bitcoin closes out of that trend line. Then we'll start to get a nice acceleration from Ethereum. Not to say that Ethereum's reverse trend just yet, but it's showing that we're going to start getting a nice acceleration. Take it back to 3.1. This will be a key stage for us as well. If we break that one, then we know that this long impulse wave over here is now going to get its correction wave. And if we match that whole top from the bottom there, we can be looking at ETH rallying back to 3.8, 4,000 from that zone. But before that, we have two steps we've got to get through. So Ethereum, I'm being a little bit more patient on the zone over here. If Bitcoin gets rejected and has a small little pullback, I can see ETH easily coming back to 2.4 anywhere in the zones. I don't see a lower low. I see a lower low for Bitcoin. I don't see a lower low for ETH. But maybe if there is, if Bitcoin gets rejected, we come down to 2.3, 2.4 anywhere in the zones. And then we wait for this clear trend break again and the continuation up there. But either way, ETH right now, you can see Bitcoin's up, it's down 0.2% today. ETH's up 2.5%. So ETH's definitely showing a good amount of strength in the market right now. So that's good. So ETH is one I'm keeping aware of. That's looking great. I was then looking at these guys because these are the ones that are really starting to show like, wow, they're cheap. And they're starting to give us nice little indications too. Now you can see with all of the charts that I've shown now is they have two major trends. You know, we got the ones that we're forming right now, which is these lower time frame trends over here, which show us we can just have a correction to the next sort of resistance or any of these points. And then we have the longer downwards trend that these coins have been on. And you can see over here, we have MATIC very clearly that this was a downwards trend, very volatile sort of token. But we're having this little flag over here. And if Bitcoin closes above that 40K level, you know, MATIC is one I want to be in, because MATIC is still so early at the stage over here that we're only starting to break the downwards wedge now. Now it will get really strong acceleration. Bitcoin breaks that key level, but where does it go to next? We can easily see it run to this resistance point over here. And if you look at that, you know, a little push from that to that region, you know, looking at 20% up from MATIC to those levels over there. We then have the next key one, which is around 2.2. And that means we have a rally up here to these zones, break through, come test again, and then we can look at the really big correction of, you know, MATIC making its way back to 2.4 to 2.6, any of those sort of moves. The only difference is now is MATIC still early. You know, we already look at ETH, and ETH's already started a road to recovery, and it's already sitting in this area over here. You know, MATIC is at the point where it's only starting to break through now. And if we get those breakthrough from Bitcoin, you know, we can look at a really strong, quick acceleration from MATIC. So I think for, you know, short time frame wise or medium time frame wise, you know, I'm talking a month, I'm talking a few weeks or so, MATIC is one I'd really be looking at for some good gains. And also investment wise, you know, MATIC is really at that point. Let's just get this up here, where we have these really big support zones on where we're sitting over here. It's one of the only ones that really reclaimed a higher low, a proper higher low in play. We then have the weekly stochastic, which has just bottomed out now. And it really formed a strong candle last week. Let me just get rid of this so you can see it. So this is a really good candle, guys. When we see this long tail, and then we see it brought up and we see like a more of a neutral sort of candle, this is always good. This can indicate a reversal candle for you. And you can see now we have the weekly that has just reset to the bottom over there. So for me, you know, investment wise, MATIC is looking really good now to be buying, to be putting it away in the wallet and to be looking back. You're catching it on a really good special. You're still looking at MATIC at 44% down from its all-time highs. It's one of them that has held very well in the market as well. And, you know, short time phrase, and investment-wise, it's looking really good. So MATIC is one of them for me. The next one, which has gotten cheap, guys. Remember, you know, I can't believe it that 2-3 months ago I was talking at these coins, and you know, AVAX was sitting at $140. You know, everyone wanted to buy AVAX. You know, now it's at $70, and everyone's scared. You know what I mean? We're at that level now where these coins, investment-wise, you should be really, really happy on where they're at. And where we're looking at now is AVAX too. So AVAX now is if AVAX breaks, if Bitcoin breaks through and it holds that 40K region, as I said, closes out, AVAX is the next one where it's still so early. It's not climbing, it's not there yet where ETH is just yet. Where the true volume comes in is when we break a key resistance or a key level. And as you can see over here, is when if we get that breakthrough from Bitcoin, we can look at AVAX breaking through here. And where's the next level it can go to? It can go to the main resistance trend since we've started this downward sort of cycle. And where does that take us? You know, you can look at AVAX going back to $90 to $100. And then we can see from that is if we break through that resistance, you know, you can easily see $120, pull back to $90 and the continuation. But remember, you can't sit here and say, you know, is this the exact bottom? Is these sort of things? You're going to wait for these confirmation breaks. But guys, if you do get these buys and this breaks through and this starts to really rampage through to these things, you know, you sort of look to say, okay, in 6 months' time, you got AVAX sitting at $150 or you're sitting at $200 and you bought in this area over here. Doesn't matter if you caught the exact bottom or not. Do you see where you bought? You know what I mean? It's a very different point where everyone wanted to buy here. Now, for the first time, you're stocking up on these next sort of levels over here. So AVAX is one that's showing me Bitcoin gets the breakouts. AVAX can be one that's going to shoot out the gates very strongly. And we can have a really strong push from AVAX to the upward side. And this may be an entry of a lifetime where you can hold this thing for the next year. Maybe. Or it's going to get to resistance, get rejected, and we're going to take profits. You know what I mean? That's two options. Maybe it keeps running, or we just make a good amount of cash and then stock up for the next opportunity. So AVAX is the next good one. Let's jump onto Luna quick, because I know we spoke about Luna yesterday. And one thing that's interesting with Luna is it did bounce beautifully on the 0618. So investment-wise, you know, anywhere in the regions of, you know, $35, $45 for Luna, I think you should be actually drooling. Like, I think it's really good. They're a really good company, guys. And I think that, you know, the future is really bright. So I think investment-wise, that's good. Right now, we did reclaim trend, which is good. So I think if we get Bitcoin to break, 40K or that sort of region again, don't go all in, just the tip. Exactly. You go more all in on confirmation buys when the beard is gone, then you know. But same with this. So Luna is showing that it took the bigger hit, but it's got the bigger growth to come. And you can see here very clear that we've broken back into trend now. But if Bitcoin gets that clear little breakout, I'm very interested in Luna because Luna can just run back to these resistances over here. And you can see, that 20-30% just to that trend over there. So we know Luna's held very well throughout this whole correction sort of level. But if Bitcoin starts to show that strength and we're breaking through that 40K region, that's when volume is going to start entering the market. That's when total 2 is going to be breaking. That's when dominance is breaking down. Luna's one that's showing that's going to be one of those that are going to shoot out the gates very, very quickly. So that's another one I'm keeping eyes on very much. The next one, which is showing strength, same thing. Dot got, I can't believe how it got absolutely destroyed. But, you don't look at it a sense of, remember, Dot got destroyed. Let's just match up. It got destroyed here too, right? 3-4 months later, it broke all-time high. Yeah, it got destroyed again. That's great. But look at this now. Look where we're at that level where the next resistances are sitting here, the next one is sitting there, the next one is sitting there. So the opportunity that you are getting here, that if Bitcoin breaks that 40K region and we start to get volume in the market and you're buying the confirmation buy of this breakout flag over here, do you see that there's the normal trend? Let's just draw that in. This will make its way there. See if this starts its road to recovery again. Just remember where we're looking at right now and where you're stocking up right now. So DOT is the next one. If Bitcoin breaks that 40K region and we just rally to 45, 46 zone, we're going to see a really strong push from DOT that can take it back to, 28 to 30 to $35. You look at that where that is now, that's 70, 80% sort of gains there. So DOT's looking great. It hasn't had any strong pushes yet. It's forming a beautiful flag. Dominance is in favor right now, and a break of this will show really good strength for DOT. So this is another big one. Investment-wise, I'm super interested, and medium-term to short-term wise, I'm also super interested. Massive gains to be made there as well. One that we've spoken about many times, it got destroyed, but it didn't get too badly destroyed. We had the next pullbacks on Cardano, but it had that little rally up to 1.5, it shot down, but it hasn't really gotten completely destroyed. So where we're looking at here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We got 14 buys where it's been bought up at this level in the last, few months. So this, you can see very clearly that this is big guys accumulating Cardano. Very simple. So short time frame wise, it is looking good. It can possibly have a good breakout short time frame wise and, medium term, but investment wise, Cardano is looking fantastic. This is really good accumulation zone. Remember, as an investor, you don't care about the gains right now. You're accumulating coins in a very good area. And over time, you can look at really massive gains. So for Cardano, I think investment-wise, looking fantastic where it is right now. Dollar costing, anywhere $1.90, 1.10, anywhere in that region looks really, really good for Cardano. So that's looking good too. Let's jump on here to Fantom. I don't think it's cheap enough for me yet. But if Bitcoin, this is one that I think is going to run against the normal alt. So what did I mean by that is Bitcoin's looking, if it breaks the bottom trend and it starts to make its way down quite quick, we've got dominance coming down too. So it means ETH, DOT, all of those, they'll come down, but they're not going to come down as aggressively as what they did previously. So you're looking at higher lows, you're looking at those points, except Fantom. Fantom's one that really ran against, and it really shows weakness at this point of where we are now, which means that if Bitcoin does have any little push to 31K or anywhere there, we can see Fantom rally back down to 1.5, 1.6. And as an investor, there I'd be super interested. So not to say short time frame wise, it's not looking too strong just yet. But if Bitcoin has had another little leg down, be aware of Fantom because you know how strong they are right now and what they're looking at. And we got this really big flag that's forming on it here. And any buys up here, can be rallying to these zones. And you can see, 100%, it's really, really strong gains. So Fantom, I'm not buying it right now. I'm not looking to add right now. But if it does come anywhere between 1.6, 1.7, I'm super interested in Fantom and the levels that we're sitting at. Looking at Link, I think investment-wise, I'm interested. Short time frame, not showing massive strength now, but Link as well. So many buys, accumulating buys, big buys, buying up in these areas over here. So if Link at any point does make its way in the region, back to $15, anywhere in those zones. Investment-wise, I'm super interested because it's showing here that same thing. Bitcoin breaks 40, goes to 46, anywhere there. Dominance collapses, link back to $25 to $28. Look where we're at now. That's 60, 70% gains for the medium term sort of range over there. And obviously, if we break through, you could have gotten the entry of a lifetime, a really, really good entry on that zone. So link's also another important one I'm looking at. These ones we spoke about yesterday, guys. Sand. So Sand broke trend. Great. Really, really good. Now we had Bitcoin at a key level, and it's showing that, if Sand does come back anywhere between 3.7, I can load up a little bit more. But we got really good little entries there yesterday. My stop loss sitting at around 3.5 for now. That's just in case Bitcoin comes down and it breaks that next sort of little lower trend. But for Sand here, if Bitcoin breaks that 40K region, we can see Sand make its way to $5 to $6. And that was really good entries looked at yesterday. So Sand, I'm still very happy with it, showing really good strength in the markets turning bullish, as well as Mana, Decentraland. We got it yesterday. We should be sitting 10% up from yesterday. That's great. If it does come back down and 2.5, I'll be interested. My stop loss is around 2.3 for now. But same thing here. Bitcoin breaks that 40K region and goes to 46. We're going to see a really strong push from Decentraland that can rally it back up to the $4 region, anywhere in those zones over there. So that's looking great. Let's look at Spell quick. Spell's looking good. Sideways, waiting for Bitcoin to make a decision. It's holding quite strong at this point. Spell, I think, investment-wise, as long as you're patient with it, I don't think short time frame ways. I think they're very volatile, shorter time frame, like really short. I think swing is really good for it right now. But Spell, as I say, I'm looking at really big, just to the rallies here, 100, 150% gains from Spell. So we get that breakout from Bitcoin. I don't want to be missing out too much. It is higher risk, smaller percentage of portfolio, but really good gains, as well as time as well. This one's sort of hovering, not too much data on the chart-wise, but it's broken out a trend. It's holding trend right now, and we are clearly going sideways. I'm still looking for that nice little rally up to the $900 region. Higher risk, smaller percentage of my capital, and I do have a take profit strategy. You've got to have a take profit strategy on these tokens. Got to. The next one, let's have a look here quick. Solana. So Solana is not a buy for me right now, but wow, Solana's had a really good little reaction there, which was good. It got destroyed quite a bit. We do know that Solana's main trend is sitting, let's see if I can get it up here, in the region of the zone over here. So Bitcoin breaks at 40something K region. We can see Solana make its way back to about 130, 140, and then we'll see how it reacts from that zone. I'm not buying now. I will be buying, though, if it comes back to the region of $90 to $100. I think investment-wise, it's great. It's really, really good entries because remember where you're getting it. You're getting all the way back from this imbalance zone over here, the first major support. So that investment-wise, I'll be interested anywhere between $90 to $100 and short time frame as well. You know what I mean? I'll be looking to see that, do we reclaim here, come back down, test at a point, get in. So investment-wise, I'm interested. If there is shorter time frame, later on the week, I'll be helping you guys with that as well on Solana and looking at all of those. I just want to go through here. And that's it for now, guys. So those are the ones for now. I know we're going through it so much. We've gone through these coins quite a bit, but I think it's important to understand, short time frame, medium time frame, get ready with those accounts. If Bitcoin gets that strong breakout, look at those levels. Investment-wise, you've got a sort of good understanding that dominance is turning now. It's starting to show a little bit of reversal, which is good. We want Bitcoin to break through these key little levels over here. And, this is when volatility hits the market again. And at some point, the beard will be shaven and we'll finally get over this little downward sort of cycle and this downward little trend. Remember that the big money and the real millionaires are made through the bear cycles and the ones that don't get flushed out, but they're clever. They learn as well and they understand what they're actually doing. I think that's it. So guys, show love one more time. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're following all of us on all our social medias. And I will see you guys all tomorrow on the next show. Much love, Banter fam.